Hi, this is Brian Fogarty, and this is a video for Chapter 9 of the book Quantitative Social Science Data with R, 2nd edition. So in this video we're going to do is we're going to look at two sample difference in means tests with dependent samples. So in the previous one we looked at independent samples. This time we're looking at dependent samples. And as I mentioned in the previous one, our data is not great for this. And it's even worse for the dependent sample. So generally we use these tests, the dependent sample, when there's some connection between the samples that we have. So a classic one is we have like repeated observations. So someone answers questions on something in a pre-test, then there's some treatment stimuli or something like that, and then they answer questions in the post-test. Something along those lines. So another one is, there's a good example where you have measurements of a couple, right? So like a married couple on something, let's say happiness, and you compare that. In that case, you'd be using dependent samples because there is a connection there. So again, we don't have really great data for this. What we're going to do is we're going to compare the means of standardized mortality ratio and standardized emergency stays in the hospital in the SIMD data. I'm going to compare the means to see if they're significantly different. Okay, so we have t.test. Again, that's the function. This time, though, we need to specify the data using the data and then $, and then the variable we're using. So SMR is the standardized mortality ratio, and SIMD emerge is the emergency room stay. And then we specify that paired equals true, because that's another name of it. These dependent samples, they're also called paired. So we have paired t-tests. All right. Run that. Okay, so again we have the alternative hypothesis, which is a little confusing, saying the true difference in means is not equal to 0. So the null would be that the true difference in means is equal to 0. Because our p-value here is less than 0.05, we say there is a significant difference in means between standardized mortality ratio and standardized emergency room stays. Or emergency stays, sorry, it's not the emergency room. How useful it is, what's the takeaway? I don't know. It's not very useful just because the data that we have is not great for this. But this is how you do it if you had really good data that fits this. Alright, so this is a really super quick video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.